Let's start our chapter here about strict liability and product liability. We've already talked about negligence and we've already talked about intentional torts, but here is a tort that involves no intention and no negligence. Let's say that you are a contractor who imploded buildings. You worked with dynamite all day long. And let's say you knew all the rules, you were as careful as you could be, and you decided that you were going to bid on a job imploding a building at Loyola University, New Orleans. And you set your dynamite charges, you follow all the safety rules, boom, the building implodes, it falls just right, but two houses on the next block, the moment the boom goes off, collapse. Well, you have done nothing wrong. You're completely innocent of any negligence, and yet you are going to be responsible for those houses collapsing because obviously your dynamite caused them to collapse. So it's kind of a no-fault situation, and that occurs when you have abnormally dangerous activities like dynamite. You've got strict liability. Okay. Let's say that you brought home a little cheetah cub, a little tiger-like cheetah cub, and that cheetah was the friendliest animal you have ever had, best cat you've had the cheetah for 10 years, had a dinner party one night, and the cheetah decided to eat 6 of the guests. Well, even though you had no warning the cheetah could be aggressive, keeping a wild animal is an abnormally dangerous activity, and under strict liability, you are going to be responsible, even though you had no warning of the danger of that particular animal. We can also have product liability. First of all, negligent product liability. A manufacturer makes a product. The manufacturer is negligent about the product, and of course can be sued when the product turns out to be defective. Also, in recent years, maybe the past 50 years, we can have strict product liability. That began in the 1960s in the state of California and holds manufacturers responsible even though they really didn't do anything negligent. And if you look on page 309 of your textbook, you should be able to find the 6 elements of strict product liability. There can be defects in products, of course. If a defect is a manufacturing defect, then if you make 10,000 of a product and one of them is not manufactured just right, that's called a manufacturing defect. You could have a design defect where all 10,000 are designed not well, and that would be called a design defect. Are there defenses to product liability? Sure, there are. You can have assumption of risk. You can have a misuse of the product. If you're sitting in the tub and the water is not warm enough, and you plug in your hair dryer and immerse it in the water, well, that's misuse of the product. You can have contributory and comparative negligence. The modern theory there is comparative negligence. You want to look at that in your book. You can have commonly known dangers. Like there was a case in the textbook a couple of editions ago where 2 adult ladies, mother and daughter, decided maybe as a challenge, I'm not sure why, but for 3 straight years they ate 3 meals a day at McDonald's. And at the end of the 3 years, they were both fat, and they sued McDonald's for becoming obese. Well, McDonald's could have used a number of defenses, but the defense they chose to use was it's commonly known that fast food is fattening, and if you choose voluntarily to eat 3 meals a day for 3 years at a restaurant that serves fattening food, don't blame us if you become obese. There's a fun video at the end of this chapter called The Baking Soda Man. Okay,